If this is your first bull run, if this is your first major pump in the market because you got in here during a bear, well, welcome to FOMO. Today is Thursday, November 9th, 2023. My name is Matt. Please do me a favor, go to Apple Podcasts, like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, click them 5 stars, and tell people that if they're not paying to daily crypto news, then you're missing out on these markets. Let's get straight into it. Starting today, there is going to be a small window during which the SEC could approve 12 pending Bitcoin ETF applications. This is why we are pumping. I'd been telling you for a while, we're going to go sideways until we hear news. This is the news we were waiting for. It is a very big possibility that we can get a spot Bitcoin ETF. The rationale of these experts, in air quotes, that are saying that we're going to get a spot Bitcoin ETF is that the SEC gave itself a deadline extension for pending ETF applications. It chose yesterday, Wednesday, November 8th, as the last day for rebuttal comments. So it's possible that several ETFs could be approved between now, today, and November 17th. All will require the funds being traded on the same day. James Seifert, he tweeted, delay orders were issued by the SEC for BlackRock, Bitwise, VanEck, WisdomTree, Invesco, Fidelity, and Valkyrie at the same time. If the agency, the SEC, wants to allow all 12 filers to launch, as we believe, this will be the first available window since Grayscale's court victory was affirmed. A delay order in security is basically for news pending or order imbalances. Basically, they're trying to consolidate all of the ETFs in order so they can launch them all at the same time, from what I understand. However, even though they say, hey, we're going to approve these ETFs, it still could be a while. James Seifert also tweeted, there are 2 paths that need to be completed for an ETF to launch. Even if the 19B-4 is approved, the S1 still need to be signed off on. No sign that that is done yet. It's possible and even likely that there could be weeks or even months between approval and launch. Analysts suggested that a spot Bitcoin ETF could attract something between $50 billion and $100 billion of inflows over the next 5 years, which I think is absolutely lowballing it. I think it's going to be more like $1 trillion or more in inflows. In other news, we just can't talk about Bitcoin all day. The United States Actors Union has ended its months-long strike after reaching a tentative deal with Hollywood studios that include provisions to protect actors from the threat of AI. The union put out a statement saying, in a contract valued at over $1 billion, we have achieved a deal of extraordinary scope that includes above-pattern minimum compensation increases, unprecedented provisions for consent and compensation that will protect members from the threat of AI. This is being called from the studios the last, best, and final offer to the actors. If anybody was wondering why the hell is this union doing this, well, apparently, there was a clause in the contract before that they nixed. This clause would allow the studios to use those who have scanning their body into some digital form and using AI to animate their body after the actor's death without consent from their estates or the union. Basically, part of an acting gig anymore is to get into a big sphere-like orb thing that has cameras all around it, and then get copied into a high-definition digital representation of yourself, which then the studio can use in different situations. What this contract said is that even if you die, say Harrison Ford dies, they can just use Harrison Ford, his likeness, and put him into movies and situations and the background, and that is crazy. And so there's a lot of people just saying, like, hey, you know what? Unions are destroying the free market, or unions destroy businesses. That's crazy, and that's why unions exist. What do you think? Matt at dailycryptonews.net. Jump Crypto. It's a division of Jump Trading Group, and it finds itself in the crossfire as the SEC probes an alleged arrangement with the former Terraform Labs CEO Do Kwon. Jump allegedly was the unidentified trading firm that the SEC refers to in its indictment against Terraform Labs and Do Kwon. Jump allegedly made more than $1 billion worth of profit in the under-the-table deal before Terra's $40 billion ecosystem eventually collapsed. The so-called market-making arrangement, this is alleged by the way, allowed Jump to buy large quantities of heavily discounted Luna tokens in order to prop up the UST price. In some instances, Jump was reportedly able to buy Luna for 40 cents at the time it was trading at $90 per token. Nothing to see here. This next article is kind of interesting. Following a 3-day ApeFest by Yuga Labs, reports were pouring in that attendees were rushing to emergency rooms, each citing some kind of eye pain, temporary blindness, or skin irritation. Yuga Labs said that UV-emitting lights installed in one of the corners of the events was likely to cause the eye pain experienced by the attendees of the Bored Ape Yacht Club event. Twitter users previously hypothesized that the illumination used during ApeFest was high-powered UV-C bulbs intended for disinfection of surfaces instead of black lights. Black lights are designed to emit UV-A light because it's safer for humans and have the ability to cause fluorescent materials to glow without the dangerous side effects associated with UV-C lights, which produce radiation. And this is one of those things, like, if you're an event organizer, you should know, but if you're an event coordinator, like if you're just like overseeing or project managing this, there is no way you would be able to know this. Like, again, I've ran venues and big events for decades. And if somebody said, hey, we're gonna put some black lights over here, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, put some black lights over there. I would never think to ask if there was UVA or UVC bulbs. Maybe that's just my ignorance. What do you think? Would you have known to ask? Let me know, matt@dailycryptonews.net. Now let's get into those crypto prices.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
And the time is 10:31 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have some news before we get into the prices, which are going to be exciting across the board. First of all, Kathy freaking Wood, her ARK Invest, purchased a large chunk of Robinhood shares the day after the popular trading firm laid out plans to expand to Europe. She bought 1.14 million shares of Robinhood at a total price of $9.54 million based on Wednesday's close of $8.36. Also, in one of the most degen moves I've seen in a minute, FTT tokens have jumped 84% overnight as the SEC chair Gary Gensler commented and signaled that he was open to the exchange having a revival, as long as it's within the law. Now, just before anybody gets really excited about it, even though FTT tokens jumped 84%, its all-time high was $84.18 back in September of 2021. It is currently sitting at $2.16, so let's just calm down, pump the brakes. But Gary Gensler said, hey, if John J. Ray III wants to open an FTX back up, if you're within the law, you can do so. This makes fear and greed at 74 greedy. Bitcoin is sitting at $37,600. It's up 6.7% in 24 or 8.5 in 7. Ethereum is over $2,000. It's $2,038, up 8.1% in 24 or 13% in 7. Tether's number 3, Binance is at $255, up 4% in 24 or 11% in 7. And XRP is at 70 cents, up 2.2% in 24 or 15.5 cents in 7. Running off the top 10, we have USDC, Solana, up 12% overnight at 47.47. Cardano's number 8. Dogecoin is number 9 at 7.7 cents, up about 5.3%. And Tron is back in the top 10. The total market cap is at $1.42 trillion, up 6.2% overnight. A Bitcoin dominance of 52.1 and an ETH dominance of 17.2. Exciting, exciting, exciting. Anyway, I hope everybody is hodling. I hope everybody is being safe. None of this is financial advice. And I'll be back tomorrow while we're checking in with the Asian markets. And until then, happy hodling, everyone.